The first opinion polls immediately after Julia Gillard became Prime Minister showed a large block of voters who had deserted to the Greens, disillusioned with the Rudd government, coming back to Labor with a rush. One poll showed Green support almost halving. But will they stick? Having seen the Gillard compromise with miners on Kevin Rudd's resources tax, they'll presumably be wary of her promise to toughen up Labor's policy on asylum seekers and whether she'll stiffen her party's commitment to establishing a price on carbon after postponing the ETS timetable. It's a dilemma for Greens leader Bob Brown, who on the one hand wants a better relationship with Labor than under Kevin Rudd, but on the other hand wants every vote he can get to win the balance of power in the Senate and possibly even a historic lower house seat at Labor's expense. Bob Brown joins me now from Brisbane. Bob Brown, one of your senators, Sarah Hanson-Young, has described Julia Gillard's recent comments on asylum seekers as dog whistling and the lowest form of politics that she's seen played for a long time by the Labor Party. Now, that is a very strong statement. Do you agree with it?
It's a very strong statement, but when you hear the Prime Minister of the nation saying that she's not going to support political correctness, that's a direct put-down to people who do believe in humanity, in decency and in legality in treating the people who fear persecution and come to our shores as asylum seekers.
But isn't there fault on both sides in a very emotional debate? Do you acknowledge the right of us, or do you understand why some people might develop an anxiety about the issue without being racist and without the right of others to call them racist?
Yeah, of course I do, but there's a lot of xenophobia being traded on by both the big parties here. You've only got to listen to Scott Morrison in action to understand that. And what we're missing here, and have missed for so long in this country, is leadership, Kerry. 4% of the migrants to this nation in the last 6 months came in boats. 96% didn't. But we're not hearing a debate about them, nor about the 50,000 overstayers on visas who came by plane and who are illegal in this country. What we're getting is a debate honed in on these unfortunate people seeking refuge with their families, escaping persecution, coming to our shores and being denied their proper legal access. And then this political debate, which is all about winning votes at their hapless expense. This is the nation of a fair go. You wouldn't think so listening to Julia Gillard, and you wouldn't think so listening to Tony Abbott and his crew.
And yet, when Julia Gillard became Prime Minister, you described her as straight-talking and honest and direct in her dealings with you. Dog whistling is hardly honest. Do you believe that she's undergone some fundamental change from the perspective you developed about her in so short a time?
Well, I was very surprised to hear what she had to say yesterday. I thought it was a very poor show of leadership from Julia Gillard, and it corroborated that warning given by her predecessor, Mr Rudd, about he was not going to be pushed to the right on this issue. Well, there is a move to the right in the Labor Party, and it's very frightening.